morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. As well, we see on the live here this morning that Leanne Anthony is indicating happy birthday to my son, Isaiah Rollins. So Isaiah Rollins, we trust that you have a great one today. Happy birthday going out to you, and lots of love from all of us here at Tobago Updates. At this time, viewers, we are switching gears a little bit as we focus this morning on the mediation unit under the division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. We are chatting this morning with Caryll Spencer Edwards, who is the assistant coordinator of the mediation unit. And this morning she'll tell us a little bit more about the mediation unit and what services they offer. Good morning and welcome to you, Mrs. Spencer Edwards.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you on the program. And I want you to remind our viewers, now we've heard of the mediation unit, but give us an idea in terms of when this unit was set up and the purpose for which it was set up.
Okay, so good morning again to Tobago and the viewing public. So the mediation unit was first set up in 2009. It would have evolved since then.
Right.
The main purpose for mediation was to give an option to litigation. Most people tell you they don't like to go to the court.
Right.
And what mediation offers is that opportunity to sit and have a conversation, dialogue, to try to flesh out, for want of a better word, issues that persons have within our communities. So that's one of the major reasons why mediation would have been introduced.
What are some of the areas or some of the issues that the mediation unit would treat with outside of litigation?
All right. So we have some of the issues we deal with are like landlord and tenant disputes, merchant customer disputes. We have one that would have been that is really prevalent right now is with the susu. People start running these susus that really, really fast turnovers, and persons running into a lot of issues with people taking their monies and not paying after they would have gotten theirs.
These are current, this yes. Susu to which you're referring.
And this is the traditional susu I'm talking about.
Right, not the not the pyramid.
No, not that one.
Not the pyramid, the pyramid susu.
The traditional. It is a big problem we're having right now. It's we have like about. We have a couple of cases that we're currently dealing with, trying to get persons to be honest, I would say, right? We deal with family and relationship disputes, neighborhood conflicts, community disputes, juvenile conflicts. So the range of issues are there, and as I said, we try to offer persons that option as against going to the court, because it would tell you, I don't like to go to the court. But something I must mention is that one of the greatest challenges that we're having now is that with families in terms of property and land issues, a lot we're getting that. Sometimes they come with one issue, and when you start talking to them, because my job is to do interviews and assessments, and when I start talking to clients, you realize, oh, there's a whole lot more to it.
So they come in, with one issue,
totally unrelated.
When you get to the bottom of it,
there's realize it's a family
underlying
issue dealing with land or property. Maybe a will would have been left, or an assumed will. So we have those issues. And one other one is that with parenting. And so a lot of times, because we now have family court in Tobago and children authorities are very active, lots of times we have persons coming into us from them being referred to us for mediation. So coming out of that, we currently have a co-parenting program that's being run. Every Thursdays, it runs for like 5 weeks. At the end of it, you're given a certificate, and then the report goes back to Children Authority or the Children Court most times. But yeah.
All right. No, I have to. I'm really interested here in the rate of outcome. In fact, the outcomes that you've had, success rate that you've had over the years. You said since 2009 the unit had been set up, but there's been some.
Well, I started working there in 2010.
Right. But the purpose of the unit has shifted over the years?
Shifted in terms, maybe we have taken on more, like in terms of the co-parenting program. We've done conflict management programs. In that sense, we would have expanded.
Right.
But the basic idea, the fundamental idea still remains.
All right. In terms of issues being resolved, what would you say would be the unit's success rate in terms of issues being resolved?
I have worked there, and I can tell you that the success rate is really high. We're probably at a 70-75% success rate. I've seen persons come into the center, family members to be specific, not speaking to each other. And when they left in the same vehicle. I've seen family members come into us, 2 family members would come. And at the end of the process, we would have the entire family in, doing a session, because we would have realized along the way there was need to involve more persons, and they would come in and a whole host of issues would come out of this. And you would realize there was a whole lot more happening. And persons would meet us sometimes because of the confidentiality that we stress on. Sometimes I see persons and I may not acknowledge them simply because I don't want them to feel as if, I remember my business. But they would call out to you. And
it's better they call out to you than you,
yes, always.
Call out to them.
And you ask the question. So, they say, things really going good. So you get that feedback from persons. They give it to you freely, and it is there to show that what we do works and what we are doing is relevant to Tobago's community.
Now, is it that persons have the inability to communicate? Why the need for a mediator? But I'll tell you this, Meister Tuck on our live is saying the mediation unit works really good. Sainara Llewellyn says the community mediation unit really works.
I think what it does, first off, is that it allows persons to have the opportunity to speak freely. People that say, I want my day in court, but you go to court, you have a say.
You don't have a say.
You have a lawyer, you have the magistrate, and you don't have a say.
He speaks for you.
But when you come to mediation, you are allowed to have your say. A mediator, we have 2 mediators now, and I'm really happy. I want to say thank you to the division for giving us our mediators. Finally, it has been a while, and we're really, really thankful. So we have 2 certified mediators on board with us right now. And what mediation does, and what the mediators are there to do, is to ensure that when persons come to us, they feel comfortable to have that conversation, to say, this is my issue, this is why I'm not happy, and we can work from here to a place where everybody is comfortable, where we could now think of moving forward. Because quite often the issues that they deal with or that they're dealing with is not out of the ballpark. It's right. Just that maybe sometimes not able to sit and express themselves. And sometimes you need somebody there to say, here's what, let's start with, or hold up, give her a minute, or hold up, give him a minute. Right. Sometimes it's just to allow you to feel comfortable to speak freely and to express yourself. Yeah.
All right. And tell us about the therapeutic counseling unit, which, is it a recent addition?
It is.
Tell us about that.
It's working wonders. So quite recently, the therapeutic, during COVID, I think around the COVID time, the therapeutic counseling unit came into being. Currently, we have 8 counselors, and I must say they come well equipped with all of their skills and their knowledge set. So they do programs outside of just counseling through the division, of course. We have a crisis hotline, which was very, very useful during the COVID.
Right.
I'll give the number for that soon. We have parenting workshops. They do learning enrichment programs. They work with TechVoc and the program for adolescent mothers, among other areas. Because of the sensitivity of it, we can't really tell you what the other programs that they run. But there are a whole host of programs, and they come, as I said, we do grief counseling, marriage, trauma forensic, child psych, self-harm, depression, life skill coaching, a whole host of services and skills that they come with.
How are persons able to access these services? Is it through referral? Do I sit as an individual and maybe I feel the need to have grief counseling, or I feel the need to treat with to have an issue explored?
Okay.
How do I access these services?
Like mediation, these can come through referrals, or you can walk in. Different agencies might refer you outside of the court.
Right.
Right. So with TC, we call them TC. Most times clients they come into us. Sometimes they come into us for mediation, But during the interview and assessment process, you might realize there's need for some other intervention, and most times it's counseling. We got a lot of referrals from within our division, from the Community Social Services Unit, CSSU. We get a lot of referrals from them. And as I said, we have walk-in persons just come and they ask, they make inquiries. And again, we have the hotline. I could give you a number for the hotline right now. So the hotline number is 683-8341.
And what is the purpose of the hotline?
The
crisis hotline?
Just as it says, persons, especially during COVID, would call. They're under stress. There's some kind of anxiety going on, and they just need to talk to somebody. They need to reach out. They need somebody to be on the other end to say, hey, I'm here, I'm listening. Tell me what's happening. Let's talk about this. Let me see if I can assist you, if I can point you in the correct direction. Sometimes people just need to know that there's somebody out there who cares.
And is this a 24-hour hotline?
Yes, it is a 24-hour hotline. There is a rotation process among the counselors, so somebody always has that phone. And whenever it rings, somebody's there to answer, and then there's always a follow-up after that.
All right, I want to go back to the therapeutic counseling unit and what it offers and how does it differ from the mediation?
Okay, so with mediation, we do conflict resolution. That's what we do. Yes, there are other services we offer, like I said, like co-parenting, etc., but we do conflict resolution. TC now, they do counseling. So, as I said, sometimes clients come into us and you start talking to them and then they might just break down. And then you realize, hey, something that is happening here. And the first thing you do, of course, is that you would call contact one of the counselors and have that conversation, and then you realize they need counseling. What TC offers, as I said, they all come with their own skill set. So we have those who specialize in dealing with children, dealing with grief, dealing with family, marriage, trauma, anxiety, self-harm. We have a lot of young people now, a lot of young people who we realize doing self-harm, the cutting, they're doing a lot of different things, and we have persons who are trained to deal with these, to identify and to deal with it. So, like I said, TC, it's wonderful to see that they're there, and Tobago coming out of a culture where we don't believe in talking business with other people, we don't believe in counseling and therapy. It's very refreshing.
We don't believe in mediation.
We don't believe in anybody else knowing our business.
You can handle your business on your own.
Exactly.
But so mediation
that
works.
Culture, mediation and counseling has taken off, and I'm really happy to be a part of that.
All right. Now, I'm really happy to hear you mentioned that we're coming out of a culture where Tobagonians do not believe in telling other persons their business. But then you talked about the success rate, that there's about a 75% success rate. And I think 75% in this culture, in this climate, is very high. Yes. It's very high. Now, would you say that more matured persons access the mediation unit, or the younger folks? Is it that we're now breaking into a culture that makes it okay to talk about how you feel? Now, I mentioned some time ago during mental health awareness week that we come from that culture that says if you go to talk about if you suspect that you're having mental health issues, then you are ostracized. Your family, your community would shun you. They turn their backs on you because you're mad and you're crazy.
Correct. That is so true.
We're now breaking into a new culture. So is it that more of the younger persons, you'd say, are accessing the mediation unit, finding it okay to talk about how they feel and what's happening in their lives? Or is it a mix of matured and young?
It is quite surprising. And as I said, it's really nice to see. It's a cross-section. Initially, I think the older people were the ones who were coming to us first. The older.
Interesting.
Yes. Because I think after a while, maybe they weren't allowed to go to court anymore. We don't know. But a lot of older persons started accessing mediation. I think over time, and especially after COVID, I have to really stress about after COVID, a lot of younger persons have started coming into us.
There were a lot of issues to deal with.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think what COVID did, it probably magnified some of the issues that we had, and the persons were trying to find a way to deal with them, especially where children were involved. They try to shield them as much as possible. And I think maybe the court might not have been the ideal place for them at the time. So COVID would have made mediation a star at that point in time. A lot of clients, and they're still coming to us. They're still coming, and they are referring persons to us as well, which is so, it's so different to see that young persons out there telling other persons, hey, try mediation. I tried it, it was good. And my job is to convince persons, I'll be honest with you, because sometimes, because it's a voluntary process, one individual will come into us and they'd give you their story, their side. And my job is now to call the other party and say, hey, my name is, I introduced myself. I said, are you familiar with Mrs. X?
Right.
And they may say, well, yes. I said, okay. So tell me, is there anything happening between you guys right now? How things are? And then they would just launch into the story. And I say, okay, so what do you think you need to do now? I said, well, we offer mediation. It's not the court, it's not the police, I'm not a lawyer. This is what I do. This is what we offer. Do you think that you could come into us and let's try to have a conversation and work it out? And persons are quite willing to do that. The minute they hear, I'm not the court, I'm not the police, I'm not a lawyer, they're ready. They're ready to try something different.
So this suggests then that they are not happy with the situation. It's not that they enjoy living, you know, in distress. They want peace.
They want peace, and they would tell you. I remember we had one incident in particular where the process ended up under a tree. The mediator at the time was our manager. Just before we had the other mediator, and our manager was doing both. You know, she's wearing two hats, and that mediation ended up under a tree on a Sunday afternoon with at least 30 family members.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that. So it's not set between 8 and 4, Monday to Friday.
We try to keep it there.
You said Sunday evening on the tree outside of the office.
Because she's very invested in what she does. Right? Mrs. John, good morning. She's very invested in what she does. And she felt the need to step outside of that box for that family because the issues were, they were like a lot of issues. And she felt the need to step outside the box to do this. And it worked. It really worked. I still see some of these family members and they still call out to us because it worked. So it just shows that there are options. We may not do it on our Sunday, but we could do it during the week. Sometimes we meet our clients halfway. Right. Sometimes clients tell you, well, I can't come in now. Could we do it some other time? And if the mediators are willing
and available,
then yes. I know TC does it a lot. They have sessions after 4. Sometimes clients can come during the usual 8 to 4. Yeah. And sometimes they're there until 5:30 doing this for clients. So yes, there is no, while we work between 8 and 4, sometimes there is that need to step outside of your box every now and again.
A single mother raising her teenaged son who seems to be having issues, can she access the mediation unit? Can she do a walk-in, just her and him?
Yes, she can do a walk-in. We have juvenile conflict. So yes, we have that service. So you can come into us. You can also call. I'll give you numbers as well as when they're done. But you can come into us. And like I said, quite often coming out of these first contacts, we realize that there is need for other outside agencies to intervene. So quite often, like I said, I'm really happy we have the therapeutic counseling unit because now we're able to just refer them to the counseling unit. Because quite often, these young people, quite often they just need somebody to talk to. They really do. Outside of mommy and daddy and outside of a family member, they need somebody else to talk to.
Now, you've certainly got 2 fans here on the live. So Meister Tuck says the mediation works faster than the court system as long as the 2 parties are present. Senara Llewellyn chimes in again, I have tried mediation and I would recommend it 100%. You really do feel comfortable and free to air your feelings, your opinions, and it is an open yet confident environment. Thanks to the mediators and the team at Health, Wellness, and Social Protection. Thank you so much for putting that in. So how can persons access. Now, we got the contact number for, this is the crisis hotline, which is 683-8341. But how can persons access the mediation unit?
All right, so at mediation, for those who would have been knowledgeable about us before the move, our numbers have remained the same. So it's 660-7709 and 635-0237. And we also have a WhatsApp number, which is 798-5805.
All right, could you give us those numbers again?
Right. 660-7709. Then there's 635-0237 and 798-5805. That's a
WhatsApp number.
Correct. Yes.
All right, and for those persons who wish to, and I'm saying here, this is an excellent initiative, and this is for persons, for parents.
Yes.
I'm saying I'm for anyone, but I'm seeing some parents. Some parents are gonna be happy to hear about this because this is certainly gonna be able to make a difference in their lives and in the lives of their children. I tell you, raising children these days ain't easy.
No,
all right, and you need all the help that you can get. All right, so I want to encourage you this morning to access the unit. Call the numbers. Call the numbers, and you can seek some assistance, some help there. So Liz G says, "Good morning, Rhea and Caryll. Keep up the excellent work." All right.
Thank you.
All right. And I wanted to go back very quickly here. Something you said earlier on, and I'm just taking 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes here, with regards to susu that you mentioned, and this is just one of the current issues. You mentioned land issues, and parents or grandparents not putting their estate in order, and of course it would cause some conflict after they pass on with family members. Who should get the house? Who should get the land? Who should get the car?
Yes, the money. Yes.
All right. Yes. But with regards to susu, are persons getting that type of resolve or the resolution that they're looking for?
It's a bit more difficult because it comes down just honestly to being honest. It comes down to persons being honest. We are having some resolutions in some instances, but there are some instances where persons simply turn their phones off, they change their phone numbers, and that's an issue. That's a very big issue that we're having. So to those persons out there who know that we're trying to contact them, please answer your phones. We really want you all to have the opportunity to work things out and not have it hanging. Because if we don't, persons could then access the court. That's the final option. I tell persons, I said, if you don't come to mediation, we have no control over what the person does after this. And most times it's the court that they go to.
Right, and you don't want to, this is the step before that.
It's a free service that we're offering. It's a confidential service. So there's no prying eyes, there's no public, there's no, just you, the other party, and the mediator.
And where are you located?
We are located at number 16 Montessori Drive. That's in Glen Road there.
Yes.
In that brand new building. We're on the 4th floor. When you come in, you could just speak with the security downstairs, and they will give you directions to come upstairs to us.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you for having me again.
A pleasure indeed. And again, I have to stress here that you need persons out there. You need to access this unit well before you get to the court.
Yes.
All right. You want to be able to access this. Let this be your stepping stone. Let this be your first step before you get there. Okay? Thank you again for being with us this morning, Caryll Spencer Edwards. And Caryll is the Assistant Coordinator for the Mediation Unit under the Division of Health, Wellness, and Social Protection. Well, viewers, lots more coming up this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we want to remind you this morning to share the live, share the live, share the live.